All right, so buckle up for this one because we're diving headfirst into the world of Berticus Icusberwitz.
Berticus Icusberwitz.
He's a 5th grader.
Oh.
With an imagination that's wilder than, wilder than a pack of sugar-crazed squirrels.
Wow. That's pretty wild.
Our source material is a manuscript called Berticus.
Sounds fun.
And we're going to be looking at a single day in his life.
Okay.
Thoughts, actions, relationships, the whole 9 yards.
I'm ready.
When you read the excerpt, what was the thing that really jumped out at you?
Well, I was really fascinated by how the author really captures that awkward stage of 5th grade.
Yeah.
You know, Berticus is kind of caught between the imaginative freedom of being a kid and the looming realities of adolescence.
Right.
And he really embodies that tension so well.
It's like he's straddling 2 worlds.
Exactly.
Right. He's still holding on to these crazy daydreams. Like thinking that new sneakers will make him run as fast as a cheetah.
Oh, interesting.
And don't even get me started on the whole beard-growing scheme with Thatch, using kitchen concoctions.
Thatch.
I mean, ketchup and horseradish.
Wow.
What were they thinking?
I mean, but I think those daydreams actually show us how much Berticus needs to feel like he has control over his own life. You know, at that age, you're starting to realize you can't just wish for things and they'll magically happen.
Yeah.
But you also don't really have the tools to deal with real problems.
No.
So Berticus comes up with these imaginative solutions, like invisible pajamas or a beard made of glue and hair.
It's amazing.
It's his way of trying to control his environment.
Yeah, and it's not just the daydreams. I mean, his actions are just as impulsive.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean.
You remember when he wears those pajamas to school thinking he's invisible?
Oh, God.
Or when he declares a food fight after he accidentally sprays milk on a bully?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it's like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You know it's going to be bad, but you can't look away.
You can't help but watch.
Right.
I think those embarrassing consequences are actually really important for him.
Oh, interesting.
Because he's learning that actions have consequences in the real world. You know, real life isn't like his daydreams.
Right.
It has its own rules.
So maybe those experiences are what help him bridge that gap between his imagination and the real world.
It's definitely possible.
Okay.
I mean, through these mishaps, he has to face the limits of his fantasies and deal with real relationships.
Speaking of relationships, let's talk about Thatch for a minute.
Oh,
I mean, this kid eats a note.
Really?
Because Berticus tells him to.
Oh, okay.
Their whole beard-growing scheme, ketchup, horseradish, even gluing hair to Thatch's face.
That's dedication.
I mean, it's comedic gold.
Yeah.
But it also makes you question Thatch's judgment a little bit.
Well, I think Thatch's role is really interesting.
Oh, how so?
In literature, we call this a foil character.
A foil character.
Yeah, it's someone who's really different from the main character to highlight certain traits.
Okay.
So in this case, Thatch is totally loyal, and he takes everything Berticus says literally.
Right.
Which makes Berticus's logic seem even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's through Thatch that we see how funny Berticus's ideas can be.
Right.
But it also shows us how impulsive he can be.
So it's like they're 2 sides of the same coin.
Yeah, I like it.
Berticus with the wild ideas and Thatch bringing those ideas to life.
No matter how crazy. Yeah.
And then you've got Amy Appleton.
Okay.
She's the object of Berticus's awkward, unspoken affection.
Oh, young love.
He gets stomach backflips when she smiles at him.
Yeah.
But his attempts to impress her, well, let's just say they don't exactly go according to plan.
So adding that first crush element, it brings a whole new layer to his character.
Oh, I see.
He's navigating these romantic feelings, which, just like puberty, are often out of his control. It's endearing.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, very relatable.
It reminds us that even when we're lost in our daydreams, real-life emotions can sneak up on you and just throw you for a loop.
It's true.
Like suddenly realizing that the world isn't just a playground for your imagination, but that it's full of real people and complex relationships.
And you have to learn how to deal with.
Right.
Exactly.
And sometimes that process can be pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a 5th grader like Berticus.
For sure. I mean, even when he's trying to be all cool and confident, those classic Berticus moments still come out.
Oh, totally.
It's like his true self can't be contained.
I know. It's like no matter how hard he tries to fit in, it just shines through.
You gotta love that.
Speaking of trying to fit in, let's talk about that disastrous American history test.
Oh, no.
Remember, he's convinced a snowstorm's going to cancel school.
Oh.
So he doesn't study.
Classic.
And he ends up inventing historical events.
Really?
That would make even the most lenient teacher cringe.
Oh, wow.
I think this really shows us that classic childhood dilemma.
Yeah.
The struggle between instant gratification and the importance of delayed rewards. You know, Berticus chooses the immediate pleasure of not studying.
Right.
Even though he knows there will be consequences later.
He's living in the moment.
It's like he's operating on that it won't happen to me mentality that we all had as kids.
Oh, yeah.
Like they haven't quite grasped the whole concept of cause and effect yet.
Exactly.
And the way he handles it afterward is really telling.
Oh.
Instead of trying to hide his failure, he confesses to Ms. Vanderbeek.
Oh, wow.
And instead of punishing him, she acknowledges his honesty.
Right.
And she lets him retake the test.
That's a good teacher.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's such a great example of how adults can really shape a child's moral development.
Yeah.
Mrs. Vanderbeek could have been really harsh.
Yeah.
But instead she chose empathy and understanding.
That's a good lesson.
I know. It sends such a powerful message about taking responsibility for your actions and the power of second chances.
I wonder if that experience stuck with Berticus. Like if it taught him that being honest, even when it's tough, can actually lead to good things.
It makes you think,
Absolutely.
Right? Like maybe that's part of what helps him grow.
Yeah, I think so.
And don't forget, he aces the test on the retake.
Oh, good for him.
Well, almost.
Almost.
He can't resist adding one last bit of creative license on a question about Alexander Graham Bell.
Of course.
I mean, that little detail speaks volumes.
What do you think it means?
It shows that even though he learned this valuable lesson about responsibility, that playful, imaginative side of Berticus is still there.
Oh.
It's a good reminder that growth isn't always linear.
Right.
You know, there will be setbacks and moments of regression along the way.
Yeah.
But that's all part of the process.
It's all part of growing up.
I think it's those little inconsistencies that make Berticus so real, so relatable.
Right. He's not perfect.
No.
He's still figuring things out.
Yeah, just like any other fifth grader. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about Berticus's social life.
Oh.
Remember when he decides to ignore Amy Appleton?
Oh.
After she sees his dad's embarrassing cycling outfit.
Oh, no.
Talk about an awkward situation.
Yeah, that's rough.
I think this episode really highlights that intense self-consciousness that comes with those early romantic interests.
Yeah.
Like at that age, even the smallest flaw can feel like a huge obstacle to being accepted.
Yeah.
So Berticus's reaction, even though it's extreme, is understandable.
Oh.
Given his limited experience with these complicated social dynamics.
Yeah, it's like the world suddenly becomes this high-stakes popularity contest, and you're constantly worried about making a mistake or saying the wrong thing.
And when something as mortifying as your dad sporting neon spandex while cycling happens.
Oh, gosh.
Well, it's enough to make you want to hide.
I could see that.
So Berticus is trying to avoid any more embarrassment by just avoiding Amy completely.
But he can't ignore his feelings forever.
Of course not.
So he decides to try a new tactic, talking to other girls to make Amy jealous.
Oh, the classic.
And who better to get advice from than Thatch, the self-proclaimed relationship guru.
Thatch giving relationship advice.
I know, right?
That's like asking a fish for tips on how to climb a tree.
It's true.
But surprisingly, the advice he gives isn't terrible.
Oh, really?
He suggests that talking to other girls might make Amy notice Berticus.
Oh, so it's the classic playing hard to get strategy. It's been around forever.
And it works.
Well, sometimes
it speaks to those universal patterns of attraction that often work on a subconscious level.
It's like by making himself seem less available, Berticus accidentally makes himself more desirable.
Oh, interesting.
Now, of course, he's not doing this intentionally.
Right.
He's just following Thatch's questionable advice.
But the underlying psychology is there.
Right.
So who does Berticus end up talking to?
Well, it's none other than Mary McGurkin.
Oh, no.
The infamous nose whistler.
Oh, boy.
It's a recipe for disaster, of course.
Yeah.
But it shows us that Berticus is willing to try new things, even if it means being uncomfortable.
To get the girl.
Yeah.
It's like watching a baby giraffe try to walk for the first time.
I love that analogy.
Adorable.
Yeah.
But you're also waiting for the inevitable fall.
And the fall comes when Mary misunderstands Berticus's intentions.
What happens?
She thinks he's really into her.
Uh-oh.
And she has a very public meltdown when he tries to explain.
Oh, that's rough.
It leaves Berticus confused.
Yeah.
And probably regretting ever listening to Thatch.
It's a good reminder that communication, especially about romance, can be full of misunderstanding.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with the heightened emotions and limited social skills of preteens.
For sure.
But then something unexpected happens.
Oh, what's that?
Amy sees this whole exchange, and she reaches out to Berticus.
Really?
She invites him to sit with her at lunch.
Oh, that's nice.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It suggests that she might be interested in Berticus.
Interesting.
Maybe she's amused by his awkwardness.
It's possible.
It's like the universe throwing him a bone.
Yeah.
After that whole Mary McGurkin debacle.
I mean, it could be that Amy's actually drawn to his awkwardness.
How so?
Well, sometimes people who can make us laugh, even unintentionally, are really appealing.
Okay.
There's something endearing about someone who doesn't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, we're back for the final act
Oh, okay.
of our deep dive into the world of Berticus Icusberwitz, our resident 5th grade philosopher king.
I like that.
We've seen him conquer food fights, imaginary karate tournaments, and the perils of public speaking.
Oh, yeah.
But his quest for that something special,
Right.
it isn't over yet. As we head into this final part of the excerpt, his journey takes a distinctly musical turn.
Oh, interesting.
It's really fascinating how Berticus's need to express himself keeps evolving.
Okay.
First, it was through those imaginative scenarios, then through karate,
Right.
and now it's through music.
I see.
You know, this constant search for an outlet, a way to make his mark on the world.
Okay.
I think it's something a lot of us can relate to.
Oh, yeah.
Especially at that age, when you're trying to figure out where you fit in.
It's like he's trying on different identities.
Right.
Experimenting to see what feels right.
And this time, it's the allure of rock stardom.
Oh, cool.
Remember when his music teacher, Mr. Quiggleby, announced at a graduation band?
Uh-huh.
And Berticus becomes obsessed with starting his own band.
Really?
He sees himself as the front man, belting out angsty lyrics.
About what?
About the trials and tribulations of school days, the cafeteria food, the homework struggles, the unrequited love for Amy Appleton.
It's a classic.
This episode really gets at that universal desire to find your voice, your tribe, your place in the world.
Right.
You know, Berticus, in his own way, is trying to create something meaningful, something that resonates with others.
I see.
And music becomes his way of expressing himself.
That's cool.
And the band he puts together
Yeah.
is a motley crew, to say the least.
Oh, really?
You've got Lenny,
Okay.
the electric guitar prodigy, who can shred like nobody's business.
Wow.
Then there's Thatch,
Of course.
the enthusiastic tambourine player,
Okay.
whose rhythm is,
Yeah.
well, let's just say unique.
All right.
Artie Calhoun,
Okay.
the sweat-prone drummer,
Oh.
who's more likely to pass out from exertion
Yeah.
than keep a steady beat. And his little sister, Lizzie, on keyboard,
Oh, wow.
who's more interested in playing chopsticks than contributing to Berticus's rock and roll vision.
It's quite the lineup.
It's the kind of band that could only exist in the mind of a 5th grader.
I think the humor comes from that contrast between Berticus's big dreams of rock and roll stardom and the reality of his bandmates' quirks and limitations.
It's a good reminder that collaboration, even in its most chaotic form, can be a source of joy and growth.
It teaches you about compromise, patience, and the importance of embracing individuality.
And amidst all this rock and roll chaos, Berticus is also dealing with the pressure of performing.
Right.
In Mr. Quiggleby's more traditional graduation band.
Oh.
So he's juggling rehearsals for both bands. His anxiety about graduation is through the roof.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Talk about stage fright ×2.
I think this actually shows how Berticus is developing.
Yeah.
On one hand, he's embracing the structure and discipline of Mr. Quiggleby's band.
Yeah.
He's learning about teamwork and following someone else's lead. But on the other hand, he's pursuing his own creative vision.
Yeah.
With Berticus 5. He's exploring his individuality and taking risks.
That's like that classic struggle between fitting in and being yourself.
That we all go through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. It's that Berticus 5 performance that we're all waiting for.
Right.
The moment where his rock and roll dreams either take off or crash and burn.
So how does it go?
Well, the graduation performance is a masterpiece of comedic timing.
Okay.
Berticus, after weeks of anxiety, is ready to nail his trumpet solo in pomp and circumstance
In pomp and
with
circumstance.
Mr. Quiggleby's band. But then Thatch drops a bombshell. He dedicates his tambourine performance to his girl.
No way.
Farley Finnigan.
Oh, that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It sends Berticus into a tailspin,
Oh, no.
complete with milk squirting out of his nose.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, Thatch.
I know.
Even when he's accidentally sabotaging
I-
his best friend's big moment,
Yeah.
it's like he's completely unaware, right?
Of the social chaos he's causing.
With his well-intentioned,
Yeah,
but often ill-timed pronouncements.
for sure.
And this scene
Yeah.
is pure chaos.
Oh.
It's a perfect example
Uh-huh.
of how life throws you curveballs.
Yeah.
Especially when you think you've got everything under control.
But amidst the chaos,
Yeah.
there's also a sense of triumph.
Oh, how so?
Well, Berticus, even though he's embarrassed, recovers
Yeah.
and finishes the performance.
He's resilient.
Yeah.
It's like he's finally learning to roll with the punches, to embrace the unpredictable nature of life,
Right.
even when it throws milk squirting out of your nose moments his way.
And that's where we see him come full circle. He's faced his fears,
Yeah.
navigated those awkward social situations, even discovered a talent for music,
Right.
or at least a passion for it.
And he's coming out of 5th grade.
Yeah.
Maybe not unscathed,
Right.
but definitely transformed.
And the ending,
Yeah.
it's bittersweet.
Oh.
You know, Berticus loses the election,
Yeah.
but he realizes he has a real connection with Amy. They plan to get ice cream after graduation.
Oh.
There's a sense of hope,
Yeah.
of new beginnings, of
Right.
possibilities.
It's like he's finally found his footing,
Yeah.
even if it's a little wobbly.
It's a hopeful ending.
Yeah.
It suggests that the journey of self-discovery never really ends.
Right.
It's a reminder that those awkward years are also a time of incredible growth and change.
And that even amidst the chaos and confusion, there's beauty and wonder
Yeah.
in embracing the journey.
So there you have it.
A deep dive
Into the mind
of Berticus Icusberwitz,
a 5th grader.
who reminds us
Yeah.
that life is messy, unpredictable, and often hilarious.
There's always something to laugh about.
Yeah.
Something to learn from and something to look forward to.
Thanks for joining us on this wild ride.
It's been fun.
And until next time,
Yeah.
keep diving.